Hey everyone, welcome to this tutorial on Sur Vesdre by Jacques Stotzem. First, the usual stuff. The full lesson is split up into several parts and only the first part will be released on YouTube. For full access, you can check out my website or my Patreon page. Both offer different perks at different pricing points, so there should be something for everyone. If you want the tab and notation file, then do head over to the website, look up the song and click on the music notes icon. That way you'll get a 20% discount. No account or login is necessary to do this. Now, this is an artist I've been wanting to cover for a long time. In the wake of Tommy Emmanuel's rise to fame, we have been swept off our feet by a huge wave of new acoustic talent. But today's artist, Jacques Stotzem, has been doing this solo acoustic thing for decades. Here in Europe, he is nothing less than a fingerstyle pioneer, releasing his first solo acoustic album in 1981. Since then, he has made close to 20 acoustic albums, some with original compositions and others with covers ranging from Jimi Hendrix to U2. He is a regular on guitar festivals across the globe, Europe, America, Japan, China, you name it, he's been there. For all this hard work, Martin Guitars, yes, the Martin Guitars, decided to give him his own signature model, an honor only given to a very select group of elite players. Oh, and he's Belgian, as I am, and I can assure you, he is one of the friendliest people you'll ever meet. Sur Vesdre is a musical depiction and tribute to the place where Jacques lives, which is the valley of La Vesdre, a small river that runs through the eastern part of Belgium in the region that borders with Germany. It's a beautiful place with a huge forest area, green hillsides and this small river that runs through. Jacques goes for a minimalistic approach, and I don't think we've ever done a melody before that is this bare-boned and this fragile. The arrangement is sparse and Jacques lets the melody do most of the work. If you ever went through my tutorial for Surrender by Isaac Guillory, you may remember the story about how I used to get hired for funeral services and that I had to come up with songs that I could play reliably even when my hands were frozen stiff after sitting in a stone-cold church for an hour. This song, Sur Vesdre, was always on that list. It's melodic, memorable, moody, and it's easy to play. Beginner fingerpickers can get their first full song under their fingers here. More experienced players probably won't even need the lesson video to get the fingerings down, apart from maybe one or two spots in the song. But because the song is technically easier, it opens up the necessary room to pay full attention to the dynamics. And that is exactly what Jacques wants you to do. Because I got in touch with him, and this is his heartfelt advice on what you should focus on. The interpretation is the most important thing in this piece. Playing with emotion and giving weight and meaning to each note of the song is not that easy. You should concentrate fully on that aspect in order to give a musical dimension to the piece. Otherwise, playing this song while only thinking of the right positions and fingerings makes no sense at all. And I can agree to that after recording the cover video and feeling this for myself. It takes, even for an experienced player, a different type of deep focus. Ready? Off you go. Okay, let's get things rolling then. The guitar is in standard tuning and you need nothing else. Now, to be clear, Jacques does use a thumb pick and he also uses finger picks. This is just his trademark, it's how he likes to play the guitar, but I have always found that this song sounds, in my case, better without a thumb pick than when I'm using one. So I'm just going plain fingers. If you want to hear how this song sounds with the thumb pick and the finger picks, then go check out Jacques' original version, which you should definitely do. So let me dive straight into the first section, section A, and as you will see, it's just 4 bars of music that you will have to repeat. Here we go, section A. first part, nothing else. 4 bars, you're just going to repeat that one more time. So we start an upbeat open G string, open B string, and then we add the index finger to the 3rd fret on the B string and the middle finger to the 4th fret on the D string. You might notice I'm skipping straight past the chords because there are no regular chord shapes in this entire tune. It's all, maybe, I'm mistaken, maybe one D chord all the way at the end, but apart from that, nothing that really resembles these standard open chords. So again, open G string, open B string, index finger, middle finger, 3rd fret, 4th fret, and you plug them at the same time to an open G string in between, and then the pinky 5th fret on the high E string. Then you take this chord shape and you just move it down 2 frets to the 2nd fret, 1st fret, the 3rd fret, and you just plug the D string, B string, and high E string at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Then pick the B string separately, the open G string, and back to the high E string. That's the first bar. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You keep the index finger and pinky where they are. You remove the middle finger and you reach with the ring finger for the low E string, 3rd fret. Jacques picks the low E string, the open G string, and the B string at the same time, while that top G note, 3rd fret on the high string, still rings out. There is always a lot of free time on this one chord. You plug the chord, and then whenever you feel like it, you pull off with the index finger to get an open B string as well. There is no counting here, this is all done by feel. Whenever you want, pull off to the open string. This note can ring out as long as you want to as well, and then you basically move through the exact same bar up until that point. That 3rd bar is the exact same thing as the 1st bar. Now for the last note, we shift back up 2 frets, exactly the same chord shape, pick the high E string, 5th fret, then the chord again, and move up 2 more frets with the pinky to the 7th fret, and now only add the index finger to the 5th fret on the D string, together with an open B string. So those were the first 4 bars, and as you will see, also the next 4 bars. So let me recap everything one more time, starting from the very first note. And then the next 4 bars, full repeat again. And now before we move into the next part, because this is already the whole of section A, I'm going to play through this section one more time with the magnet on the guitar, giving you a good look at what the picking hand is doing. Here we go. I think I have more than enough time in this first part to address section B as well. So this is what it sounds like, section B. into section C. So again, 4 bars, just repeat those. We start with the index finger on the 7th fret, on the high E string, middle finger to the 8th fret, pinky to the 10th fret. 2 16th notes and 1 8th note on the 4th beat. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. On the first beat, index finger to the 7th fret on the low E string, middle finger 8th fret on the B string. Repick the high E string 10th fret and then move up the index finger to the 8th fret and repick that full unit again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In between the 3rd and 4th beat, you repick the 8th fret on the B string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move down with the pinky to the 8th fret and slide down to the 7th fret. Index finger 5th fret on the high E string together with an open D string. Slide back up with the pinky quickly from the 7th fret to the 8th fret and straight back down to the 7th fret. As that melody note on the pinky sustains, you put down the middle finger on the 7th fret on the A string, you add the ring finger to the 7th fret on the G string, and then you go back for the index finger on the high E string. That full bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, and with the pinky to the 8th fret on the B string again. Next section, those 2 chords are going to be a bit trickier, but it's really important to get the fingerings right. First, one more time, those 2 bars together. Ring finger to the 8th fret on the low E string. Now you're going to put down the index finger on the 7th fret on the D string and the middle finger on the 7th fret on the B string. Yes, while still holding down the pinky on the 8th fret. So at this point you have both the pinky and the middle finger on the B string. You pluck the low E string and then the D string, G string and B string together. 1, 2, and that is where you need that middle finger for. On the last chord you're going to hammer on from the 7th fret back with the pinky to the 8th fret. 1, 2, 3. On the 3rd beat you just go back to the 8th fret on the low E string, then you repick that 8th fret on the B string and you move up the pinky to the 10th fret. Now, if you're not careful, that next chord looks like it's exactly the same thing, and then you will, if you think that, you will run into a problem all the way at the end of the bar. So you move up from this chord shape. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now resist the temptation of keeping the ring finger here. You switch over to the middle finger for the bass note now on the 10th fret. The index finger drops down on the 9th fret on the D string. And all the way at the end, that 3rd chord again is where you drop down the ring finger on the 10th fret on the D string. 1, 2, 3. And ending back up on a bass note. Those 2 chords back to back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Then before we head into the full repeat, let me recap those last 4 bars one more time. After that, it's the exact same thing. As you end up on that bass note, I think Jacques does this to move away from the chord shape. He plays an open E string, which gives him the time to let go of the chord and then play the exact same upbeat. the bass note. And now section B all the way through with the magnet. Here we go. And that concludes this first part of the lesson. You can already play well over half of the song. I hope that is enough to get you hungry and to continue with the next part. For everybody watching on YouTube, now is the time to switch over to my Patreon page or my website for full access to the whole lesson. I'll see you there. Take care. Bye bye.